Welcome back to our second video lesson. Today's title is 1-2, Solving Two-Step Equations. So yesterday we did one step, today we're going to look at two-step. Remember, put your name in that right-hand corner and today's date in pencil. Today we're looking at that I can solve two-step equations. So let's go ahead and get started. Our steps. So let's go and get rid of that so we can see all of our steps. So step 1. We're going to transpose number being added or subtracted. Remember, we talked about transposing last time. So we take we take a number from one side of the equal sign to the other with a corresponding sign change. So transpose what's being added or subtracted. Step 2. We're going to multiply or divide whichever one is the opposite operation. To both sides of equal sign. There we go. Alright, in step 3, we're going to simplify and check. And then remember, and if all you guys have to do is put a big old star there, is that the whole goal when solving an equation is to isolate the variable. That's the whole goal, is you want to get the variable by itself no matter what side of the equation it's on. So isolate variable. So the whole goal is to get that variable alone. Alright, so for our first example, we'll dive right in. We have 7m minus 17 equals 60, and we're asked to solve this equation, then check our solution. So step 1, we're going to look at what's being added or subtracted to our variable m here, and we have our minus 17. So step 1 tells us to transpose it to the other side of the equal sign. So that means I'm going to keep my 7m on the left, equals 60 drops down, and my minus 17 comes over here to become a plus 17. And we need to do that first. So 60 plus 17 gives us 77. So we get 7m equals 77. So check. We transposed. Step 2 tells us to multiply or divide by the opposite operation. So if 7 and m are side by side, that means they're being multiplied. So the opposite is to divide both sides by 7. So 7's cancel, and m equals 77 divided by 7 is 11. And we're good. Now we are asked to perform a check. So real quickly, we'll just kind of remember from our last video, check means we're going to replace m with 11 in the original equation. So it was 7m minus 17 equals 60. So now we're going to say 7 times m. We said m was 11. So 7 times 11 minus 17 equals 60. 7 times 11 is 77, minus 17 equals 60. And because 77 minus 17 gives us 60, and it equals 60, that means our equation is balanced, and it checks. Over here, 11 is our correct answer, so we're all good. So now, we'll move on to our second example. So for this time, we're just asked to solve 5w minus 13 equals 37. So first things first, we're going to transpose our term that's being added or subtracted to our variable. So since we have w here and we have minus 13 with it, we're going to transpose that minus 13 to the other side and make it a plus 13. So our 5W's on the left, so he just drops down, equals 37's on the right, and we take our minus 13 over here to make him a plus 13, and we're set. Now we need to actually do this, so 37 plus 13. So 5W equals 37 plus 13 gives us 50. And now our last step is to see what we need to do to get W by itself. So once again, 5 and W are side by side. That means they're being multiplied. So the opposite is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5's cancel. And W equals 50 divided by 5 gives us 10. Once again, if you did want to check it, you can just come up here, replace W with 10, and say 5 times 10 is 50. 50 minus 13 does indeed give you 37, so that works. But it didn't ask for a formal check, so we didn't really need to do that part. But sometimes if you're curious about your answer, you can always check it. Alright, so our next one is t over 8. Let's change t to x. I don't like t's. Sometimes t's look like plus signs. So x over 8 plus 21 equals 14. So same thing. Our first step is going to be to get the variable by itself by transposing what's being added or subtracted. So since my x is here, plus 21 is being added to it, we're going to transpose that to the other side. So I'm going to keep my x over 8 on the left, drop down my equal sign, drop down my 14, and say plus 21 becomes a minus 21. And now we're going to do this part right here. So I'm going to drop down my x over 8 again, equals 14 minus 21 is negative 7. Okay. Next, to solve for x, we have to remember what that fraction bar means. That fraction bar means it's being divided by 8. So we have to do the opposite operation, and so if it's being divided, we need to multiply both sides by 8. So when we multiply by 8 and we divide by 8, they cancel and leave us with just x equals 8 times negative 7 is a negative 56. Now for this one, we were also asked to check it again, so let's see a check. So remember, we're going to go up to our original, x over 8 plus 21. Oh, I wrote that wrong. I'm sorry. Try this again. X over 8 plus 21 equals 14. And now we're going to replace x here with our negative 56. So negative 56 over 8 plus 21 equals 14. Negative 56 divided by 8 is negative 7, plus 21 equals 14. And the last little bit, negative 7 plus 21 is 14, so 14 does equal 14, so we're good. Our answer checks. And one more example like the one we saw before. So example 4, we have s over 12 minus 9 equals 11. So, first things first, we see our s is over here on the left side. We need to get rid of what's being added or subtracted. So we're going to transpose our minus 9 here and put him on the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to drop down my s over 12 equals 11. Negative 9 comes over here to become a plus 9. And now we got s over 12 equals 11 plus 9 is 20. Alright, we have to remember again that that fraction bar means it's division, so it's being divided. So if s is being divided by 12, we need to multiply both sides by 12. So when we multiply by 12 and we divide by 12, they cancel, and we're left with just x equals 12 times 20 is 240, and we're all good. So that finishes up with two-step equations. Remember, as you go throughout your practice work today, show your practice problems just like how mine look. Try to make sure you get in the habit of that transposing. Make sure you show all your steps and all your work. If you need any help, remember to join in that Zoom session here in the last half hour of class. And make sure you keep all of your stuff all together. So make sure you keep your 1-1 solving one-step equation notes, and your practice work from section 1-1, as well as this 1-2 solving equations with 2 steps, and the practice for it all together. So please stay organized for me. With that being said, thank you so much.